Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to week 45 of the DC Sports Digest. Another exciting week of DC Sports, so without further ado, let's get into it. So Nationals definitely had an exciting week as Dylan Cruz got called up, but we started off with a loss with losing the Braves series, and we actually were able to win the Yankees series. I mean, Dylan Cruz had a slow start the first game, and the first game was the one we lost in the series, but we honestly got robbed. We had so many hits that were could have been home runs that were just short. And then Dylan Cruz had a couple hits in the second game. We got a win. Then he got a home run in the third game and also a hurt, and we won that one. And then also a home run in last night's game against the Cubs, which unfortunately we lost. We almost came back. But it's been great to see Dylan Cruz have a strong start, and also it's great to see Corbin have another decent game against the Yankees. So looking forward to more Dylan Cruz to end off the season. This will be really meaningful time for him to get his footing in the MLB. So coming up, we have the Cubs series finishing, then we have a series against the Marlins and a series against the Pirates. And on the Wizards, really not too much Wizards and Caps again, but they signed these 3 players to Exhibit 10 contracts, which basically means I think they have a chance in training camp to compete and try to make the roster. So we'll see what happens with that and see if anyone makes the roster. Caps, not too much, but they announced their national TV games got announced. And again, they have a lot of national TV games, so hopefully we'll look good in those. And yeah, we'll see what happens with those. And on to the Commanders now. We won the preseason game with the Patriots, and obviously the big news this week was all the waiver wire and roster cuts and stuff. So the initial roster is out. Of course, Jaden Daniels was named QB1, which was great. Some of the big surprises is just some of our draft picks. The biggest one for me was cutting KJ Henry, which is a surprise, because I thought he was doing pretty well. The Bengals picked him up. There are a couple other guys who got picked up by other teams, but there also were some that weren't. Because if we go back to last year, they're really a lot of our draft picks. Right now we just have Forbes and Quan Martin, Ricky Stromberg, and I think Braden Daniels. Both haven't been able to find a team yet. KJ Henry's with the Bengals. And I think Andre Jones, I think maybe he's on the practice squad or something. So it's just that draft class is it's not looking good, which is just even further just shows that Ron did not do a great job, and especially true if this year's draft class does really well, which I think it can be. And another big news was the trade. We traded John Ridgway and a conditional 7 to the Saints for a 6th-round pick, and I think the main reason we did that because John Ridgway actually had a pretty good preseason, so at least good for him to put some film out there. Obviously, another team there was some trade interest in him, which was good for him. But that was really to sign wide receiver Noah Brown, which is a great move. They were trying to do it apparently, I think, in free agency, but it didn't work out. Got cut by the Texans, who have a logjam wide receivers: Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, and many others. So he did not fit in that receiver room, and he comes down with us. And that's kind of happened with John Ridgway also. He didn't really fit into our D-tackle room, but there's other teams that wanted him, so they picked him up. And same for us. And I think this is a great pickup. At best, he's a wide receiver too. He had pretty similar numbers, honestly maybe better numbers than Jahan did last year. And at worst, he's another rotational guy in our receiving core, which obviously still isn't perfect, but this is a great addition that will definitely help us out, especially because Brandon Ayuk got an extension, 4 years, 120, 70-something million guaranteed. I think that's a pretty fair price for him. 49ers are able to get that done, and they still have a lot of stuff to deal with. They think they still have Trent Williams holding out, and then next year they're going to have to play Brock Purdy. So 49ers got to figure it out soon, but I guess good for them getting an extension. I still don't think he was going to come here unless it was next year in free agency, which obviously can't happen now. But it's totally fine because there are a lot of good receivers in free agency next year. T. Higgins, Amari Cooper, Deontay Johnson, DJ Chark. There's a lot of great receivers next year in free agency. We probably could pick one up. But that's next year. That's a long ways away. So we'll see what happens. And I think the Commanders this week, we just have some practice and game installs. They're getting ready for the first game against the Buccaneers on September 8th. And I think look out next week. I'll maybe make a record prediction. Probably just in this video before the game. So look out for that. That's all for the Commanders. Other DC sports news: the Mystics are actually on the 3-game winning streak. They beat the Storm Sky. Obviously had a win last week, so maybe not the best time for a win streak because they may want to get in that sweepstakes for a page. But I guess it's good for morale and stuff. So it's good they're winning. See what happens the week against, they have games against the Sun, Wings, and Mercury. And the Washington Spirit are doing pretty well. They beat Kansas City 4-1. And they're a really good team too. So that's really good for them. That got them into second in the league. And they have a game against San Diego tomorrow. See if they can keep it up. And then DC United, they lost to FC Dallas, and they have a game against Toronto tonight. And that's all I have. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.